I was kind of low-key waiting for the trunk to open a bit faster than it did, but yeah. I'm shooting this now on the Sony 20mm f1.8 and there's quite a lot to talk about regarding this lens, so let's get to it. As much as I'd want the big companies out there to sponsor me, it's not happening. So this video isn't sponsored by anyone. So here I'm just going to cut through the honest opinion on this lens and mainly why I got it. I guess we have winter now, and judging from the amount of snow, and it's already at the end of November. Time flies. I guess the snow is here to stay, so yeah, the next time we'll see anything besides snow is going to be probably end of March, April sometimes. This has to be the slowest trunk ever to open. I'm gonna quickly just talk through the main reason I got that lens was for the sake of portability. Now, if you were to ask me, does portability matter when I have it just set up on a tripod? Well, both yes and no. See, the portability aspect and the weight of it plays a huge role when you decide on which lens you're bringing for what projects and what you're gonna shoot with. On paper, this lens weighs 370 grams. It's not a lightweight lens by any means, but still it's pretty much 500 grams lighter than the Sigma 24-70mm, which I'm not carrying with me here, but which is the lens I typically use to shoot 95% of my projects. And that half a kilo of a difference is huge. Editor Andreas here, hey. Now that I'm trying to piece the content together here, I'm starting to notice that in quite a lot of the handheld shots, the focus is just somewhere completely else from where it should be. Now, part of the problem is that I'm using the Polar Pro Signature Edition PMVND filter, and I had it at 5 stops. It can be, and obviously was, challenging for the lens for the camera to keep up. So I don't know where the true problem was, but somehow it just didn't nail the focus. In just a few clips, I know from the bottom of my heart that I had it accidentally in manual focus as I was trying to get also some B-roll of the drone and try to nail focus. I realized it later on that when shooting that it was in manual, so I switched it back to auto, figured that I'll just roll with it, put in a text for it. I can't just let this pass by without making this video now that I see how much is out of focus. But in fact, the Sigma 24-70 wasn't ever even my primary lens for vlogging and talking like this, because as said, it's heavy AF. You could be walking a short distance with it, but at some point it'll just get so heavy that your hand starts to shake, or you have to bring it really close up to your face, and being really up close with a 24mm isn't really aesthetically pleasing. So here we are with the 20mm, and boy, I wouldn't say that I'm excited for winter. It always comes, there's no way to stop it. But due to the cold and everything, I have quite a bit of mixed feelings. I don't think I was emotionally ready for winter settling in. It's not only the snow, but it's the constant darkness. And with my watch here showing the sunrise and sunsets, I have 6 hours and 4 minutes of daylight time to shoot something here outside. And as I'm working full-time at the hospital, it's only on weekends. Occasionally I have the time to be outside and enjoy the sunlight. That's what's depressing. And in fact, I did have one other wide lens, which I for some reason haven't used that much, and it was the Tamron 17-28mm f2.8. There's a few reasons why I just didn't like using it. Well, the main reasons are that if you ask me, 20mm is the widest lens that you can use like this. Occasionally, if I get a bit closer, you can see that there starts to appear some kind of distortion on the face, and it looks kind of like wonky in a way. And going anywhere wider than 20mm on a full frame, in my opinion, it just creates too much of a distortion. So every time I was using the Tamron and going wider than 20mm, well, basically I never went wider than 20mm. Well, what was then the final deciding factor that made me jump ship? It comes down to 2 things. First, being sharpness. The Sony 20mm is just, It's a prime lens, and there's no way a zoom lens can beat the sharpness of a prime. I'm starting to recognize myself that I'm in the phase that I'm starting to ditch all of my zoom lenses and just be sticking to prime. And the second reason is exactly what's happening right now, and I don't know if you can see it. I'll give you a few seconds. And the answer is image stabilization. Well, this lens doesn't have optical image stabilization, and neither does the Tamron have. So what's happening? I don't know why, but each and every time you put a native Sony glass on a Sony camera body, the ibis behaves completely different. I don't know if you would go to the settings and put on manually the electronic image stabilization as well, apply it to the focal length you're shooting with, but it just seems to actually work on a native Sony glass. And all the times when I'm using third-party lenses, at times I'm almost like questioning myself that is the ibis somehow faulty or is it really working? As my hands aren't super stable or anything, there's always this small coffee jitters and stuff. It's something I truly value, the stability from this. Oh bloody hell. I don't know when I'm going to learn to start checking for the SD card in the drone. This is the... I don't know how many times I've forgot it. No one here. And I have no SD card in the backpack. How about... Whoa. Perhaps I have one in the control... Oh! Yeah! I had one stored here in the controller. My fingers are freezing. Oh, this'll do. 64 gigs. Look, I'm gonna get a large AF card and just start to store it in the controller. Oh no, but here is one inside, in all honesty. Well, what happened? Drone, what happened? Why didn't you recognize it? I did in fact have a 256 gig card here inside of the drone, but it just didn't recognize it. Oh, now we got it. Problem solved. I just had to format the SD card, and now we're ready to go. So let's try it again. All the way. Then you go over there. Yes, stay in place. Or actually don't. Well, the drone is up there, perhaps you can see. Now, having been out here shooting this video, kind of actually made me a bit more excited about winter, as in all honesty, it is good looking. Gotta enjoy the haze and from barely visible on camera, but there's a slight haze here on the fields. I was saying that there was two main reasons for me to switching to this lens. I actually forgot that there was a third one, which is a big thing. As I'm using it for a vlog setup, it means that I'm using it outside of my studio where I have zero control of the environment and thus zero control of the lighting. Being able to open up the lens to f1.8 and allow that one entire stop of light more to enter the sensor, it's really a huge thing. Not being limited to f2.8 as I was with the Tamron, so this opens up a huge lot of more possibilities for me on how I can use this lens. And now my drone is actually going away. And no, fuck. So fuck. So, geez. There it is. That is absolutely not how you're supposed to fly a drone. What happened was that I had it just hovering here as I was talking to the camera, and it initiated automatically the return to home as the battery was dying out. And considering I was here with my car, I took off the drone from, yeah, somewhere over there, and the drone started by itself heading there. Oh, I don't know if I can feature this in YouTube. Probably not. But in case I put it out there, enjoy. I managed to cancel the return to home, get it a hold of it here. What do we learn from this? Well, we learned that if you're flying the drone, fly the drone. If you're vlogging, but please don't attempt to do both simultaneously. Having been shooting now a few videos with this lens, well, what's my personal take on it? Of course, the specs you can see online and that's it. In all honesty, I should have gotten this lens directly from the beginning. The image that this produces is just so much sharper than the Tamron. It's not a huge difference, in all honesty. In some situations you probably even couldn't tell, but it feels better. But how the ibis functions, that it's so stable when you're walking around with it, and also having that extra stop of light when you need it, when you're actually vlogging. And I think those things alone is why you should get this lens. But yeah, you'll have to see this. Watch. And boy, if that ain't beautiful, I don't know what is. Hope I managed to cover everything. If not, I'll add it in a future video. I'm starting to freeze, so I need to get home, get myself a cup of hot, steaming coffee. So thanks for running fences with me today, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya! A few things before ending the video. Now when looking at it from the computer, I noticed that the ibis performance and the stabilization isn't really on par what I thought it was when I was holding the camera in my hand. It's nowhere near perfect. It's better than the Tamron, but will be probably doing a side-by-side test sometimes in the future when I have time for it. Second off, there's the vignetting of the corner, which I probably blame more on the VND than on the lens itself. So the lens isn't really as exciting as I make it sound in the video while I was out there vlogging. Just wanted to let you know.